Hi, this is Annette and Greg. It is time for Wild Bytes. We are taking time out of our insane schedule to film a little bit for you. Greg wanted to do an interview today, something a bit different. You say there are questions that you think I should answer on camera.
Yes, there is.
Well, good. Do you have those questions?
I have them right here.
That's handy.
A couple of things that come in my mind. When talking to you, you've always talked about how 2 raccoons ruined your life.
2 raccoons ruined my life. Explain that?
Yes, please.
I did not ever aspire to be a rescue of any sort. This was all an accident, but I was working for Farmers Group and doing really good, and I bought a farmhouse and acreage as a second home, and had all this extra land, you know, and I always had a soft spot for animals, always, you know, dragging stuff home that needed a home, and so that's what I did, and started taking in all kinds of domestic animals, farm animals, and somebody brought me a pair of raccoon kits, and I went looking for a facility to take them, and I couldn't find one. Everything in Rogers County had been shut down, so I got a hold of game warden, and he said, well, all you can do is either shoot them or take them out in the woods and leave them, and I said, well, that's not going to happen. So I got my permit. I thought, you know, help these animals, and well, that first year I took in 860 wild animals in my house. Green as green can be. But I saved almost all of them. I only lost about 5% of what came in. I was determined, little thing, you know, just wasn't going to give up. I was 27 years old. And yeah, it basically, that was 40,000 animals ago. And
I mean, what a lot of people don't understand is when you take on this responsibility, especially in the summer, this is your vacation.
Yeah, there's no leaving home. There's no time to even go on a picnic.
Right.
I mean, from now until the end of July and into August, there's not even time to, you know, go out to dinner or go see my mom, or, you know, Mother's Day's coming up. Oh, well,
Make
you know.
a wedding?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah.
Did we miss the wedding?
And it doesn't ruin anything outside of the work. It's just not going to happen. And a lot of people, you know, feel neglected because, I mean, I miss all my daughter's events from the time she was little, because this is the time of year all the kids are doing the end of the year stuff. Right. And last night I made it to my niece's band show in Claremore, and while I was there I did probably 50 to 100 text messages, all rescues. It was ridiculous, but you know, that's my job. What's your next question?
Just want to know how you got involved and how Sandy Brooks got involved with Wild Heart Rescue.
Well, when Sandy and Garth moved back from Tennessee, which has been, gosh, 15 years ago, about that, and they got the place out here west of Claremore, somebody dumped a mama dog and like 8 puppies at their gate, and she had a lot going on and I couldn't deal with them, so she called my game warden. And I have a policy with my game warden, don't say no. And, oh my gosh, it's Elliot! You're early! Oh. All right, we've just made a change. Elliot just made a surprise visit, so I'm like, get in on this. Greg's last question, he asked me how Sandy got involved with Wild Heart. And I was telling, she had some puppies jumped in her driveway. And she called our game warden, Breck Henry, and me never telling game warden no. When he called and said, I've got a pack of puppies. They need a place to go. I said, well, bring them. Yeah. And then Sandy called to check on him and adopt one of them later. And, you know, I'd given them all away. And I wasn't exactly very nice about it because I'm like, I am not even a dog rescue. I'm a wildlife rescue. She was so sweet. She's like, oh, really? You know, and she started asking me we talked for a long time. And the next thing I know, I got Sandy in my clinic in her boots and her overalls, cleaning cages. And she's one of the most wonderful people I've ever met. She is truly.
She really is.
Yeah.
She's amazing people.
Yeah, she is. She's good as gold.
Count myself lucky to know her.
And Wild Heart Ranch would not be here without her.
Absolutely
We
not.
would have been shut down about 8 years ago. We would have shut down. So she saved Wild Heart because I spent every dime I could borrow, beg for, get my hands on, and I went bankrupt. 12 years of this on my own, working 3 jobs, borrowing my formula money, and we were done.
Yep.
It was over. And Sandy said, nope, get your nonprofit and I'll pay the bills. So she pays the bills, So the money that we raise all goes towards expansions and improvements, supplies, and animals. So, what's your next question?
Well, I mean, a lot of times on the on Facebook posting everybody, and especially after one of your beautifully written stories, people are always, Annette, you're my hero.
God love you.
But I want to know who your heroes are.
My heroes, oh my gosh. My heroes are, Marty Stalford's an amazing man.
Absolutely.
He sent me a bunch of good stuff. My heroes are the people that stop their lives and what they're doing and give up their, goals and aspirations to make the world a better place for victims. I mean, it's Elliot, when Elliot goes and feeds the homeless people and cooks some burgers and buys them a cold beer, he's my hero when he does that. Greg's my hero when he shows up on a Friday when I'm by myself and starts feeding birds when I have 80 birds. Greg's my hero.
Can you hear 'em? Can you hear all the birds?
Yeah. And Sandy Brooks, oh yeah, top of the list. Dr. Leslie Cash, I would not be here without her. This would not be operating without her. Everybody on my board, they always step up. As far as people that are famous people, heroes, Dr. Temple Grandin, what she did for our food animals, because suffering, being afraid is a form of suffering, and just the work she did, the research she did, and the methods she came up with to help our food animals not be afraid their last moments. I mean, to me, that's tremendous. It was such an honor to do a TV show with her. That was incredible.
That was awesome.
And then, of course, Ned Bruja, Everybody's mad at Ned this time of year because Ned has just lost all patience. So for those people that have had him on the phone that are ready to choke him, we get it. Ned is a passionate man.
Yes, he is.
For saving animals, and he is very, very busy, and he tends to lose patience this time of year. But that man has one of the biggest hearts of anybody that we know, and we stand behind him 100%, and we apologize for his bad attitude.
He is a combat veteran.
Yeah, he is a veteran, and like Elliot and like Trey. And somebody's beeping the doorbell.
I'll go take a look.
You go take a look.
So what is your favorite species that we get in at Wild Heart?
That makes me a speciesist. Ned would frown on that question.
I didn't say.
Okay. I love all animals. Love's not the word. I have tremendous regard and respect and admiration and appreciation for all animals. But you want to see me turn into a puddle of goo, baby raccoons. And fawns are so beautiful and so perfect. But I try to avoid the whole visual, because it's unprofessional, and it also makes you biased. At Wild Heart Ranch, we have a policy. The ugly kids get as good a treatment as the cute kids. Period. It's very important. And we don't allow anything otherwise. Right. If somebody comes in and says, oh, I just want to feed the fawns, they're my favorite, oh, that's ugly. If you come in my clinic and you go, ooh, gross, at an animal, you're out. Right, Elliot?
Probably not a good idea to come here.
we don't do that whole. So yeah, it's sad. I have a very soft.
No animal's better than another.
That's right. Some of them smell better, but they don't get better.
Only to us. If you ask Winston or Otis, they might disagree.
I do have a very soft place in my heart for the cougar. Can't help it.
Yeah.
So once you're a cougar's mom, you're always a cougar's mom.
So with all the stuff that goes on here, what is your favorite thing to do?
Clean cages. I know, right?
Well, I understand it.
Don't let this one lie to you.
No, I do believe her because she gets to do it. It's easy. I mean, it's not easy, but
it's done right.
You get in there and you get to do it. You don't have to worry about anything else.
I hate sitting still.
Yeah.
So whenever you're on baby feeding, you're stationary. And if
I'm smelling some pucky. If you catch this one late at night, you'll almost always find her with some kind of wild thing in her lap right here, and she's just loving it up like crazy.
Don't let Greg know.
Yeah. Cut.
You better include that. Tell the truth. Once in a while, there's a single baby that requires a little extra attention.
Or a puppy.
Or, yeah.
Or
a goat.
Or a bird.
Yeah.
Xena.
So, yeah. The African gray. What's the next question? Elliot's here to keep me honest. Can you tell?
What's your least favorite job?
My least?
Man.
Oh.
Putting them down.
Do I really have to say that on camera? Okay, putting animals down is my least favorite job. And, you know, as a wildlife rehabilitator, when you take a life, you have to look at it as you're not ending a life, you're ending suffering.
Exactly.
But it's so hard not to feel like a failure. It's so tough on you. And luckily, we're really good at what we do, and we don't lose very many animals. Thank God, because I don't know that I could survive in a facility that only saved 50%. We save above 90, so we don't have to, and of that 10% we lose, we only have to euthanize probably 3 or 4% of that. So, you know, that's not a lot. I'm very fortunate to be the director of such a successful facility, but I'm telling you, those small numbers beat the crap out of you emotionally, and
Yeah, it does.
and the worst thing to do is ask me about the animal that we lost or that was put down, because as soon as that life ends, I'm focused on the living. I've got to not think about it. I've got to move on. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear about it. But when people ask, you know, what happened, blah, 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 ask one of my crew. Don't ask me. I've got to focus on the living because I just take it really hard. And yeah, it's true. That's honest.
Yeah, that's the next
And if my
one.
crew wants to talk about it, I totally get it. Just ask somebody that knows. Just let me, because I'm in charge. Therefore, they're all my failures. You know, it's just the way it feels.
Everybody processes it in different ways.
You know, I just call Elliot and say, "Would you please take me to sushi? Can't handle it anymore."
And I do.
And he does.
That's a hard one, right?
I know, right? There's nobody I know likes sushi except Elliot. Okay, and Greg. We should invite you. Next question. Poor Greg. Are you even on camera anymore? Is Greg even on camera?
I'm on camera.
We don't know.
One of the things, I mean, we know that this here is your passion.
Yeah.
This, you know, you wouldn't be doing this unless it's your passion.
No, I love it.
What else? If you couldn't do this, what else? What would you be doing? What's your second passion?
Writing. I am a writer. I've been writing since I was in 2nd grade. And I would probably be rich right now if I didn't have this. Because I've got 2 books that I'm working on, and both of them are just really good stories. One's a fiction novel I've been working on for like 15 years, and it's going to be amazing. It's an incredible story. And
Now you're going to have to finish it.
I know, now I got to finish it, right?
Hey, Kafka's work wasn't necessarily finished, you know?
Really?
Some of his work stopped mid-sentence.
I should sell 1 chapter at a time. Just make everybody mad as hell.
By a subscription.
Yeah, I
Turn into a
know.
series. Yeah, there we go.
It's a fiction novel. It's called Guarding of the Bones, and I've got a lot done, and I just can't rush it because it's just, I don't want to mess it up. But I am working on my next short story, True Stories, Wildlife Rescue, Annette's Crazy Life. This one is Memoirs of a Glorified Poop Scooper, and they're all short stories about the insanity and the tragedy and the triumph of Wild Heart Ranch, and, you know, just a handful of thousands. Otis is walking under the camera. I don't know how he didn't knock it down. You wide load.
I think it's good. I don't think he
Well, he
knocked
didn't
I don't think he
touch a
touched
thing.
it. I don't know how that
He didn't
happened.
touch a thing. Come here, buddy.
Next question.
All right. Well,
Can you even see your questions?
no, I'm.
You don't know my password?
that was
These
a
are
hard
Greg's
one.
questions. They're just on my phone.
I gave her a heads up.
Oh, what is the funniest thing you've seen or heard at Wild Heart Ranch? That is so loaded, but I'm going to tell a story that's appropriate. Okay, there's the beaver pee story, but you got to read that in the book. That's just too long. But I'm going to go with raccoon, baby raccoon season. Lady calls up, I'm crazy like I am today. I answer the phone, you know, Wild Heart Ranch, this and that. Lady says, I have this baby raccoon, and I wasn't sure what to feed it. Is human breast milk acceptable to use for a baby raccoon? I went, well, I've heard of a lot worse being fed to a baby raccoon. I said, it's probably nutritionally okay, but you really need to get it on the appropriate kitten milk replacer soon. And she goes, okay, good, I need to because it's starting to bite. Those are the kind of phone calls you hang up and go take a shower. like Q-tip your ear, sanitize the dog.
Scrub.
And if you're listening, I don't feel bad about calling you out on that because that was disgusting. I love wildlife too, but you know, there are just some intimacies that need to be shared among your own species, and breastfeeding is one of them.
Yeah.
Greg's uncomfortable. Anyway, this has really been a fun episode of Wild Bites, but I gotta call it here because we gotta feed birds. Let's roll.
All right.